I am heavy bored.
I may say that the male is entirely hostile. No! Inner
resources.
life, friends, is boring. We must not say so.
But all right, this is another episode of Heavy Board, and we are continuing with the last American sitcom, Modern Family, with Erik. Erik is back. Erik, you're basically a co-host on this now, a regular coming on here. Erik, welcome back to Heavy Board.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Season 6.
Really excited for the sixth season.
Yeah.
There's a lot to say with this one.
Dude, that's for sure. This is such an important season, and I didn't even realize it because, like, we did last episode, and I was like, oh, season 5, it was so great. Ball, it was a lot of fun. And then, like, season 6, it is the turning season, I would say. I was texting Erik about this, listeners. It was like, it's kind of the turning season. And again, don't want to overemphasize that because it's still funny. They're still mostly, even when they do woke things, it's still kind of the woke is the punchline. They're making fun of it still in a way. Uh, but yeah, it is happening, particularly with kind of Manny, uh, and, like his character. I'm not sure what they were doing with Manny this season compared to like last season, especially. I wonder. Well, before we get to all that, yeah, how did season 6 treat you with the rewatch?
Yeah, I mean, it was the jokes were still there. It was still funny, but yeah, we did notice like that Andy was still in this throughout the season and was playing. It's a pretty pivotal pivotal role in a lot of it. Um, and a lot of stuff I noticed. There's a lot of themes of and there's been more of this in season 5. There's a little too of Gloria and being or American, and um, that comes into play with like the language. She wants someone else to speak Spanish because she misses speaking English. Like there's a lot of those themes, like cultural identity, coming into some of the episodes. Um, and Haley kind of gets the spotlight as far as in this one. Um, and I think that's good because if I remember correctly, they develop her character a little, like she becomes a little bit more central
It's like,
to a
cause
lot of the plots as the
yeah,
seasons go on.
she's like, it's because she's like, she's an adult now, right? Like she's like out of school in this way. Like they're giving her more of like she's one of the other adult characters kind of storylines, you know? Like, we had all the adult characters from the beginning, the parents and stuff, but now she's like becoming one of the adult characters too, as opposed to like, all the other kids still have a few years to go for that.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it lets her kind of really blossom, especially the actress and the character and stuff. And again, we're 6 seasons in, so everybody, all the actors know the characters, all the writers. Though I will say, dude, like I texted you about this, like we talked about it a little bit last episode. Go listen to that episode, listeners, in part 5, where there was a little tussle in the writers' room. You said towards the end of season 5. I wonder if there were any changes, and I don't know exactly. Anybody that does know any insider information, put it in the comments here. Uh, but it does seem like there was just a tonal, just slightly tonal shift. And I'm thinking it has more to do with the internet influencing everything than it does with like kind of the birth of wokeness directly, you know? Like it's kind of just the internet language, internet way of speaking, just starting to come in, particularly with the Manny character and Alex and stuff. I just noticed these kind of internet speak that was just not there before. And of course, okay, this is 2014 into 2015. So I'm pretty sure the word woke didn't even exist
Mhm.
yet, you know? Like,
No, it was still probably like political correct, politically correct or something like that, right? Woke I don't really remember woke coming into like the vocabulary until like mm, 2019, 2018, 2019, around there. But yeah, definitely.
I remember it post Trump, like 2016, 17. I feel like, yeah.
And also season six. So you mentioned the writers' room. I think things did change.
You cut out again. Here,
Is it
let's
is
just
it
turn
okay now?
the yeah.
Okay.
I can hear you, but it's just like it's cutting. Yeah, let's just turn this off for that should work. Sorry. It was like right when you were like, dude, the writer's room, and then it like cut out. I was like, oh my God, we're missing everything
Oh,
you said. Yeah. What were you saying?
well, yeah. So I was saying that the writers' room it did the sixth season is the first outstanding comedy, and so I don't know if it was necessarily because of Modern Family, the show itself, or if there was just a different reaction going on with outstanding comedy that,
Oh,
that year.
this
And it
is
was
the
a
first one
purely
they
like, political satire show.
so this was the first season they
It's the
didn't
first
win.
one that they did not win an Emmy.
Oh wow.
Best outstanding comedy series every single season.
Yeah, that is a big deal.
Shift from more of this, like, oh, we want just, comedies about families to like, oh no, we need to comment on the culture now that, it's 2015 and we're seeing these, you know, Trump is on the horizon. Uh, like he'd already announced, or maybe he was about to
And there is that thing in
announce
like,
running for president. So yeah, you can see that there's a shift.
yeah, definite shift culturally and also, but I mean, it's like, I wonder if it's also that thing where it's just like, okay, they won it like 5 years in a row or something. So like the people voting were just sick of voting for Modern Family, you know? Uh,
It
could
could
be,
be that too.
yeah,
Yeah, that is
partly
true.
that, partly the cultural shift, partly that, yeah, the show has been on. This is the sixth year now. We've all of that stuff. But yeah, there was just slightly too. I don't want to overemphasize this. And I guess, yeah, listeners, the thesis on this is that like, we're approaching this rewatch here with the Modern Family series, taking it season by season, episode by episode, because I think it does map perfectly. The thesis is that Modern Family tracks perfectly the culture at the time and the huge shift we went through around this 2016 era. So we're not quite into like the huge big shifts that are coming, but like it's just subtle little hints are starting. Pointed some of them out last episode. Again, go listen to those. But you got to listen to the whole series, listeners, and me and Eric doing this because then you'll hear all the little nuances and you hear about how like the writer's room and things are changing. But yeah, we have that first episode, The Long Honeymoon, because it ended with the wedding uh, of Mitch and Cam last season. Again, great finale for that. Uh, what do we have in this episode? We have the Dumfies having a great summer without Alex there, which is a great bit.
Yeah, that was great. Like they're all happy. Like it's like like almost like a cartoon whimsicalness to it. And then right when Alex enters the room, everyone turns on each other.
Phil eating the plums.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
Haven't had a bad plum all summer.
And like every time he eats them, he like just makes this like an orgasmic sound.
Yeah. And but when Alex got home, he bit into a plum and he was like pretending he wanted to spit it out. Um, also Gloria tries to get Jay to improve his appearance, but that backfires. Like, um, so yeah, she asks him like, "Oh, well, how'd you like it if I stopped dressing up?" And he like admits like, "Yeah, sometimes I think you do a little too much." So she just starts like dressing all like schlubby, smearing her makeup, and meeting with some clients, and she just like dresses awfully.
Yeah. That's a good bit. And then we have the webcam bit with Haley starting her fashion blog, but she's just because she left a webcam running for like 24/7. Uh, and that's why
Oh
she
yeah.
has got like 50,000 subscribers because she's like out of the shower, like in the webcam. That was the beginning of this, right? The kind of, I mean, again, camming had already been a thing, particularly in the, seedy kind of porn world, blah, blah. But I don't know. It was just everything with the tech was probably just improving. So that's why webcamming and, blogging, vlogging on YouTube and things were just becoming a huge part of the culture.
Yeah.
So that was a funny gag. But yeah, the biggest thing I noticed in that first episode was just, I was like, man, is there like a tonal shift in this? The kind of like a style of writing. And it wasn't really until I had like episode two, I was like, man, there's just kind of a style of writing that's definitely just a new thing here. There's like an explaining, there's like a, and again, I think we could probably lay that at the feet of just internet culture, the internet snark kind of tone, internet tone, maybe is just influencing things. It's broadening beyond social media and stretching its tentacles into the
Yeah.
real world at this point. And then we go through, I mean, everybody listening to this knows we go through about a 10-year period here where everything is internet speak, every article, every review, every news channel that you put on is like internet snark. um but I don't know, yeah, because that was uh like I said, I really noticed it in episode two, the do not push with dude, that's great too, with Phil and the kids and Luke and Haley and that the like experiment at like that college campus or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was good. But yeah, I know what you mean. There is this like kind of this shift because also the way they write Jay,
Yeah.
especially in this episode, um, instead of buying something nice, he takes a pot like a what do you call it, pottery class? Was that it? Where he
Yeah.
makes like a clay statue of a bunny for her because he called her bunny when that was, and one of the funniest scenes like that made me laugh more in this season than anything was him trying to like present her and she's like, oh, it's yeah, I like it, and then he's like, um oh well, about like it's what's inside or something. And then she says, oh, there's something inside, and then she just breaks it, like just smashes the bunny's head on the table, and the heartbroken look on Jay is hilarious. Like he's trying to hold back from crying, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it was supposed to be." I'll go down there and have a talk with him, and he's just trying to hold back tears. Um,
And that's where I first noticed it. It was the scene after that where Manny comes in and explains everything that happened to Gloria, you know?
yeah,
I was just like, wait a minute,
yeah, and
like
trying to
like
really make Jay this sensitive character.
yeah, like and it, okay, whatever. Like, they have to write 24 episodes for this, but I was just like it was just crazy to me that I was like, man, either Manny's really starting to phone it in, a little, or his
Yeah,
just, or that just the actors just, he was a child, cast as a child, he's just not a great actor, and it just they're not giving him great stuff to work with either. But yeah, I don't know. He just kind of explains the situation to Gloria, and I just remember thinking, it just struck me at that moment, being like, this is different in terms of the writing style, where he's explaining why Jay was upset in the situation to Gloria, and I was just like, man, like I don't know. Usually they would
yeah.
just do that in a different way, where it wouldn't just be this kind of not lecture, but it was just Manny explaining everything out to a T. Whereas, the sitcom trope is the misunderstanding and then it gets worked out eventually. But it was like within one scene, like Manny just comes in and explains it away and it's like, oh, it's resolved. And I'm like, huh, that's not how they used to do it in the terms of writing.
No, I think also with Jay's character, uh, it Jay would not have done that in the previous season. He would have just bought her the gift she likes, knowing that, yeah, she likes expensive things. I'm going to get her jewelry, So they're kind of making him, a little bit more sensitive. Um, and I think that's can't have just this like masculine character.
Yeah.
You have to like make them give them those like feminine touches.
Yeah, and they definitely do that with Jay for sure. Same with Phil too. They make him kind of even more uh weird, which is, it's usually
Mhm.
funny, but yeah, it is kind of like if we're doing it with the
Yeah.
lens of, yeah, this is the kind of wokeness is coming. Uh that's what's happening here. But dude, just the lines like okay, so the plot of this is like Alex is visiting a college and the whole family went with her or whatever, but like, she's like visiting and there was just a line the nerdy boy said when they're at Caltech and he's like trying to impress Alex. There's this line I wrote down where he says, "Sorry, I have a touch of
Mhm.
Asperger's." And then he's like, "No, I don't. I just said that so you think I was interesting." And I was just like, "Oh, it's a small line. It's a joke. It's funny. Yeah, it works in the context of like, two nerds having an awkward kind of flirting session while they're touring a college. Caltech of all colleges, like it's not like this was UCLA or something. Uh,
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh yeah, here it is. The Asperger's as a trait that makes you more interesting,
Yeah.
right? Here it is.
Mhm.
I was just
Yeah.
like,
No, now
damn.
people do that seem to pay online for that. Yeah.
Well, it was just
It's like, yeah,
becoming,
now that's everywhere.
or people would be like, oh, I'm a little autistic. It's like, no, you're not. Like, like, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, like, no, you're not. Like, you're just a dorky kid that likes physics or whatever, likes doing the math problems. Like, you don't have Asperger's, kid. Uh, but
Yeah.
whatever. No, go on,
And
please.
it's always now it's like even dumber than that. It's like, oh, I'm really into, um, like, oh, I really like to collect records. Like, you just have a hobby, dude. Like, yeah, there's no like Asperger's or autism that people really have. That's like 90% of that shit is just made up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's almost like yeah, like a quirk, right? Like this is the quirk Chungus is being born in conjunction with the woke. Um, it is like it's like a cultural archetype, I guess, in some way. This is also the season that I noticed that two episodes in
Mhm.
where I was like, damn, everybody is blonde. Gloria went more blonde with the highlights. Haley went more blonde. Even Claire's like even more blonde than she was basically. I was just like, man, everybody looks blonde. Everybody's looking great. Yeah, they're hotter than ever. And
But
then,
in this episode, there was a great part where um, Alex accidentally hits that
oh
rape button
yeah,
on the on campus. It's, yeah.
that is good. And it's like right at the end of like an awkward flirting moment. She like leans on it and it just starts going off. She screams. She's like, "I'm fine. I'm fine." It's like
Yeah.
this loud, it's like the emergency alarms on college campuses or whatever for women depressed if they're like feel unsafe. Just starts like blaring, lights flashing.
Yeah.
And dude, I was thinking, I mean, this is in obviously hindsight's 2020 here, but even for episode 3, the cold, we have this kind of again, I know nobody knew COVID was going to happen or that it was going to play out the way they did with this kind of
Mhm.
people that have listened to this show know how that COVID was one of the most radicalizing events of my life. I'll never get over it. And just the idea of blaming people for getting you sick, right? Like, again, it's funny in this
Yeah.
episode. It's well done, and it's kind of like a quirky little, whatever, funny little thing. Oh no, please don't get me sick. And I had an aunt that would always do that. Like you like greet them at the holiday party or whatever. Like, oh, how you doing? To go in for a hug. They're like, oh no, be careful. I have a cold. Like, people that were just really weird about that. Like that's always been a
Mhm.
thing. But it was just like, man, this idea of yeah, blaming everybody for getting everybody else sick when there's like a cold going around or something. I mean, that never used to be a thing. I remember like growing up. And it was just interesting that it was like, huh, this is kind of a foretelling of what was to come. I mean, again,
Yeah,
this
that
is
was
me
just the coldest
projecting,
going.
but yeah.
Mhm.
And again, I noticed this too with
Yeah, no, that yeah, Phil in this one is
Patient Zero, which is funny.
yeah, it's supposed to
Uh,
be patient zero.
yeah, he like sneezes on the wedding cake and got everybody sick or whatever. Uh, there was almost like a Family Guy style gag in this
Mhm.
too, where Phil was talking about, I'm patient zero. He says this is going to be worse than like the pink eye epidemic of, summer of blah blah blah, like something like that. And they cut to like a bird watching thing, and Phil has pink eye with the binoculars. He's like, "Oh my God, look at this!" And he starts like passing the binoculars to everyone in the family, giving them all pink eye. It was just one of those. It was almost
Yeah,
struck me
yeah,
as like a Family Guy cut. Like, yeah,
that
unlike
was
the
pretty.
previous seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, I was very fan of that.
Uh, and I kept noticing this even through episode three. Just I wrote in this, just there's like an explosion, an exposition style that's just a little different this season. And I noticed it with Luke. Luke starts doing this thing in this season, and we'll get to specific examples where he's like, who are you really mad at? Me or your father for blah, like something like that. Like
Mhm.
it's this kind of psychoanalysis. And I think, yeah,
Yeah,
it may be internet culture coming in, not full blown in the culture just yet, but just kind of leaking in here with kind of the internet, the psychoanalysis, the kind of, yeah, I don't know, the constant critique.
yeah. I mean, I even think Luke admits most of the time that, like, oh, like after when they cut to him for the sit downs, he's like, oh, that line was just a shot in the dark. Like he had no idea what he was really saying or something. It's just sort of like he heard it somewhere and figured, okay, that would work if I respond like this, and you know, it does work, and it usually shuts down whoever he's talking to.
Yeah, absolutely. And it keeps coming up. Yeah, it was with Phil or something. Yeah, he's like getting out of getting in trouble or something with his dad. And then, yeah, they cut to him and he's like,
Mhm.
total shot in the dark. Like, yeah, and it's funny, right? It's still a joke. It's still a bit. It's still written as a joke. It was just, yeah, I just noticed it. I was like, huh, Luke never used to do that. But I get it, whatever. He's growing up stuff. And then we have the Andy Devine is back. And we have Andy Devine and the Haley relationship. Uh, what do we think of the Andy Devine and the Haley relationship
Mhm.
throughout the season here?
It like I like him because he's sort of like the young Phil, right? And Haley is kind of like a young Claire. So it kind of works, but I think in the long run, he's just too likable. Like Claire likes him, Phil likes him, everyone likes him because he's a sweet, nice guy. And that just doesn't make for like fun for the writers. Like they need more conflict than that. And I think that's why, Dylan was always like the funny choice because Phil loved him, Claire hated him. He was kind of dumb, like like there were some problems. So it was more funny that he's good for the episode he's in, but in the long run, I just think they're going to run out of material for him, and he's kind of a one note character.
Yeah, it's again that kind of like goofy teddy bear, asexual. Uh, I guess the funny running gag in this is that Haley's new boyfriend is like catching them in like situations that would. If you're hearing this, it's because you are listening to the free public feed of Heavy Board. To get complete, uncensored, uninterrupted, full access to this podcast, become a subscriber at patreon.com/heavyboard. That's right, Heavy Board is made possible by subscribers like you. For less than 1 cup of coffee per month, you will receive private access to uncensored, full-length episodes, Jerk Shop, heavy bonus content, subscribers-only AMA episodes, bonus, extended interviews, and more. Come join the conversation today at patreon.com/heavyboard.